Okay, so we are going to talk about Jamboard. And Jamboard is, well, you know how much I love sticky notes, and I think sticky notes is such a good strategy for reading comprehension, but also when we would make those huge posters in our classroom and we would hang them up and we'd have all these colors of sticky notes. This is the same idea. It's just virtual sticky notes. So if you haven't worked with Jamboard before, a few things you should know as a student. It works very much like a Google Doc. And in fact, you do find Jamboard if you go to your 6-piece little board right here and you scroll down, you see all of these options, and you're going to see the J like this, and you want to click on it, and that is your Jamboard. And so my recent jam would be the one that I'm going to share with you. You can create a jam or a Jamboard just by clicking on this icon right here at the bottom right, and it's a plus, and it's just similar to creating a Google Doc. And so it's kind of like a mix between a Google Doc and a Google Slide in my mind. That helps me to kind of think about it in a certain way that's clearer for me. And so you have this open white space to begin with. You can title your jam just like you would a Google Doc. So I'm going to say Ms. McCarthy's test jam. And you have some options. I know you guys can get much more creative with this than I can. I'm just learning it. But if you spend like 5 minutes on it, I'm sure. So Jamboard lets us hold our thoughts and pull them together and be collaborative even when we're not together physically in class. And the cool thing about this is that it lets you tag or put up your own sticky notes. So this is an assignment that I am doing with one of my classes right now that we're working remotely. And this is the cover slide. And I'm going to tell my students, so I'm telling you if you are in this class, that these are the sticky notes we're working with, and these are the different colors. And so one is a part of chapters 5 or 6, or whatever chapter you're reading that you like specifically. I like when Lorene said so and so or such and such to Cash about such and such. I like when, as a writer, maybe, I like when Lorene uses imagery or metaphor, or I like when Lorene mixes up short sentences and long sentences together because that makes something, it uses description. So you can either think I like when the author does something or a character does something. So I'm going to say the author writes a specific way, or the character does something. I'm just going to make that note. Okay. Another, anytime you have a question about the book, you're going to write on a pink sticky note. Similarities to your own life would be on orange. And what does Lorene, I spelled that wrong, what does Lorene learn and from whom? And that's on green. And then blue is what, quote, stood out to you and means something to you personally. So this is like the cover, and you're going to click on this arrow here and it'll go to the next slide. So this whole slide would be, what questions do you have? And this is how you actually write a sticky note. You would go to the left-hand side, which is your toolbar, and you're going to click on the little note, and you're going to look for pink to match. And I wonder why, and then put your question. You can have a clarifying or a probing question, and then you click and you can drag this so that it's not right on top so that we can see it. So post as many sticky notes for questions as you have when you read. And we're going to go to the next slide. We just click this little forward arrow, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on the sticky note, and we're going to locate our orange color because that matches for similarities. What is similar to your life from Lorraine's story in chapter 5? So I found that Lorraine's struggle to fit in, right? So you're beginning, and just click save, and it'll pop up. Okay, I'm actually going to click on it to delete it. When you click on it and you see all 4 corners highlighted, you can edit it. I just pressed edit, and you can save your edits, or you can click on it and duplicate it if you wanted to make another one, or delete it. The next slide for the green sticky notes would be learning. What does Lorraine learn and from whom? And you could take this from any part of chapters 5 or chapter 6. And then finally, what quote means something to you personally. Then the final page on this Jamboard would be your own. So what is your own? Whatever. Do you have anything that you would like to bring to the table and make a post-it note on for this week? The cool thing is this, like say for one of these, you wanted to, what does she learn? You can actually add an image. So you click on the image icon here. You can go to Google image search. So if I want to say, she learns about, oh gosh, I just had, math. You could select it and that goes in, right? So you're seeing that that just kind of helps to make our Jamboard more of a vision board because we're adding. So feel free to add images that go along with the theme of this particular slide on our Jamboard. So for instance, for this, what's similar, if I want to do struggle to fit in, I could click on the image and do looks different. I don't know if this is actually going to pick up anything. Yeah, awesome. So I do have this. So I'm going to click on this and make that, I want to add some visual. So I'm adding a visual of possibly something that reminds me of struggle to fit in. Or maybe it's click on an image, race, right? We talked about that. That's not that kind of race. We talked about fitting in. Let's go with this. Let's go with another keyword, intersectionality. Right? So say I wanna put something in for, this is our image that we worked with in class right here. If that reminds me of fitting in, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in, right? And your sticky notes can go kind of around it. So we're putting up sticky notes, but if you feel like you wanna add an image, then go for it. If you feel that you want to write something, that go for it. Obviously you wouldn't write that, but if you want to erase it, then you click on this and erase. I have a trackpad mouse, which is harder to work with, and I'm slow with this. Okay, so I think I've gone over all of these. I've gone over your assignment for this week. Let's try to get creative. Let's have fun with this. Let's add some images, but more importantly, I want you to think through and put up some sticky notes for what you are thinking of for chapters 5 and 6 of Black Ice. This particular Jamboard will be shared with our entire small book club for Black Ice. So don't do anything that's like changing the background, and don't press this. If you press clear frame, everything's going to go away. So try not to do that. And then treat this like an open doc. So we will, um, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So I'm just going to end it right here. All right. Have a good time doing this.